it's crazy to think now that the so-called Battle of Britpop happened 30 years ago. Oh, it will be next week. And I think it's one of those things that there's been so many stories told about it, so many things have been said and denied or confirmed. What more can you say about it, really? So I just thought, I mean, I was there when it happened, and I just thought I'd share some of my memories of what I do remember of that time and the craziness of it all, really. I mean, it was 1995. Britpop was in full swing, and it had been a great year for music that year. You'd had Elastic had released their debut album, Supergrass released their debut album. Oasis had gone to #1 with Some Might Say, and there was a new Blur album coming, there was a new Oasis album coming. Every band was just exciting. It was just, there was really, really good music, and there was a real buzz, positivity about being, the whole thing about being British and into music. And I loved it. I thought it was great. And there was just so many, you can't put into words how many, every band was pretty good. Everything everyone was doing was good. And then obviously you had the kind of the death of Britpop that followed the years later. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about this battle. So Oasis had already scheduled that they were going to release their single Roll With It. And it was Blur that changed their release date for it. And there's a couple of different versions of stories out there, which I'm not going to go into, to be honest with you, because only the people involved know what the real truth is. But it's in the No Distance Left to Run documentary, which came out after Blur reformed in 2009. Damon does say, or I'm pretty sure he does say, that it was him who changed the release date of Country House. And so the two bands were going head to head for the #1 spot. Before all the silliness happened and the craziness that followed it, I heard Country House on the radio and I quite liked it. And I wasn't a Blur fan at this point. My sister was a Blur fan, so it's kind of one of those things, you know, when your family's into one band, you're not really into them because they're into it first. But I really, really liked Country House. And that converted me to a Blur fan. And ironic, really, because they've done, like I was saying, it's a weaker song by Blur. But hey ho, they released it and it went to #1. But I remember going out on that Monday to go and buy it. And I think I bought it in Chatham, and walking into the Our Price, and there was like loads and loads of them. There was the Blur released 2 CD versions of it, so the standard Country House version there, and then there was the live version of it on there from Mile End. And Oasis just released 1 single, so straight away, well, 1 CD version of it. They're up against it, Oasis, because obviously your Blur fans are going out and buying. If your Blur fans buying everything, they're already getting an extra sale per purchase on there. But it was just mad. It was just mad. I remember it being on the news at 10, people talking about it. And everywhere you went, everyone was kind of talking about it. And there's a real, the excitement kind of built as the week went on. And then the other thing I remember about it was kind of listening to the top 40 countdown on the Sunday. They got as far as #3. And then they did the countdown from there. So you didn't find out, like, you had to wait a bit longer to find out who #1 was. And as I said, obviously, Blur got to #1. Oasis didn't. But what I was thinking about it, or what I kind of, in hindsight, it was a pretty crazy thing that happened. And it kind of like, didn't belittle, but I don't think it was overly great for the whole Britpop movement at the end of the day. Oasis went on to, like, Blur won the battle, Oasis won the war, as they said, because Oasis just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger from that stage on. Blur, I think it was good for them because they went off and reinvented themselves and come back with the Blur album, which is my favourite period of their career because they went a bit more lo-fi and American sounding. But, thinking now, 30 years on from it, and going and thinking about what's happening at the moment with Oasis being back, I think it's quite interesting again, because going back to that, you know, Oasis won the war, Blur won the battle, because when Blur did their shows in Wembley a couple of years ago, they were great, really, really good. And there was a real, when you went down to London that day, there was a real feel of energy and everyone was really psyched up and everyone really, really wanted it. But what's happened with these Oasis shows is that feeling is everywhere. Everyone's like buzzing for it. Everyone's excited for it. There's a real kind of like, you feel like you're really in a moment in time of like something magical is happening here. And I mean straight away, Blur did 2 nights at Wembley. Oasis are doing, is it 6? I don't know. It's a lot on top of everything else that they're doing. And then they're going around the world and doing it. And obviously now, you know, I think both bands look back on that. It wasn't the finest hour for either of bands, really, to be honest with you. I think some things were said on both sides that parties regret now and what have you. And I think after that moment, they tried to do it again a few years later, didn't they? I think it was when Sophie Ellis-Bextor did that Groove Jet song, and Posh Spice and was it Dame Bowers did a single, and they tried to create a hyper battle of the bands thing, but it was nothing in comparison. It really, really wasn't. And that's the sad thing now, isn't it? Because with downloads and streaming and all of this kind of thing, that's gone now. Because when an album's released now, it's not really, obviously the band do choose singles from it, but because of streaming and what have you, it's kind of picked for them, isn't it? Because they can see what songs are popular. And you don't get the videos now and any of that stuff and all of that. So it's really weird to be 30 years on and that craziness behind it. I mean, an example of just how crazy that was. I remember going to Maidstone, and I think it was Andy's Records, I'm sure that's what it was called. They had this spoof for sale sign above the shop, and it had like, for sale, Blur's Country House. It was massive. It was absolutely massive. I got a promo copy here of it, and the press release on the back of it says, following up something as big as Part Life was never going to be easy, but Blur have done it with style. Country House is the brand new single, and it will be #1. Don't delay. Playlist it today. So everyone, you know, the confidence was there, but it was marketing at the end of the day, wasn't it? That won the day, because, you know, if you release more versions of a song that more people can buy, you get higher up the charts. And we're quite interested now in the current like things that go on in the charts now. You notice when a band releases a single, well, an album rather, there's multiple versions of it. Taylor Swift's a great version like that. I mean, how many versions of an album, when she releases an album, how many different variants of it are there? And if the fan base goes out and buys all of those, that's really going to get you high up the charts. So yeah, I don't think we'll have anything like it again. And it was a crazy time to be around. But what are your memories of it? You know, because it's funny with Oasis being back now and this amazing positive feeling of them being back. Britpop seems back, you know, with Pulp being back as well. It's proper mad to think 30 years on, this is all happening again. So yeah, what do you think?